All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Between the Pot and the Hard Place. I'm Stephen Colton.
And I'm Chris Kirkpatrick.
Wow, I kind of sounded like a news anchor right there. This week in Between the Pot and the Hard Place.
You know, I think we haven't we made fun of people who like put on fake voices and pretend to be something that they're not.
Yeah, and it just kind of came out that way. I didn't plan that.
You know, Stephen, I hold you to a high bar of expectation for our podcast. So,
yeah, I gotta let me morph into my podcasting host.
All right.
Boom.
No. I don't know if that makes it any better, but
yeah, it makes it worse probably. Like, look at that nerd.
I got to tell you what, I'm in a good mood because tomorrow morning, when all the other suckers are going to work, I will be sleeping in. So,
that's nice.
Yeah, you know what? I decided that all last week, my wife and my kids were on spring break, and my teachers and the school are on spring break. So I'm taking the entire week off next week. This coming week, just to relax.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that. So that's kind of got me in a good mood here, tonight.
Yeah, I've kind of taken an extended leave from work. I had a few like lingering, I think, symptoms from when I had COVID before, and they've kind of like body aches and stuff. And I don't know, it's starting to get better. I mean, I had some like joint pains in my shoulder, not my shoulder so much, but kind of in the upper ribs. So I took a little bit extra time, probably not a good idea, but I mean, whatever. Maybe hurting later financially, but I mean, not that bad. Just a few extra days. It is what it is. I've been having a lot of fun. Started doing some writing last night because, one of the things we're going to talk about, which we kind of talked about on our bonus episode that happened out of nowhere yesterday.
I know, that was great.
The film Northwood Pie, which I just wanted to go ahead and start off talking about that because, wow. But before I get too far into that, throw out some Twitter names here. So we're going to do that at the beginning of the show. And probably at the end, but I'll forget if I don't do it right now.
Yeah.
Although you're here, so you'd probably remind me, but yes, Danny's commenting writing. Yes, I've talked about it a long time ago on the podcast, but I've been writing a screenplay, and I realized in August it'll be 3 years since I started it. And I'm only like 35 pages pretty much. But hey, it's a work in progress.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've got, I was going to say first off, we've got Mark Guggenheim, but yet I accidentally put him in second place. I don't know. The order doesn't matter. But we'll mention Mark first. Follow Mark Guggenheim at @mguggenheim. He's the show sponsor. He provided all the wonderful goodies that we gave away last week. The Arrow book, the DVDs, all that stuff. It's great. And so follow him. And then, of course, our show page at Pod and Hard Place, myself at Stephen_Colton, and the wonderful at Christo458619292. And, of course, I wanted to throw up here, follow the guys over at Northwood Pie because that movie is great. And I hope, those guys see this. I should have tweeted this out beforehand. I didn't think about it ahead of time.
I've got to tell you that, again, I've been really, really, spamming using Twitter, and every time I do anything on Twitter that is even remotely related to our podcast, I'm always putting between a pod and a hard place. And so I had reached out to Northwood Pie and tagged them. I also had tagged the director, and so both of them follow me now. And,
awesome. It was cool when they followed me because I don't know if they followed me first, honestly, but their name came up. The Northwood Pie account came up out of nowhere. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll follow them. And now we're all following each other, and it's one big, awesome ball of awesome, I guess.
I've got to say that if you guys out there listening are going, what is Northwood Pie? First of all, I had not heard of the movie up until Stephen had let us know that we would be interviewing them about the movie. And so the cool thing is you can actually watch it for free, right? It is one of those indie movies that I think they created for what, $12,000?
I'm not sure of the budget, but it was, a very small budget.
Very, very small budget. But I will tell you that I really loved it. I really loved it. Really special. I've got to say that what I really like about it is a Southern California film. I was trying to figure out where exactly they filmed it, and it's filmed right over here in Irvine, right?
Mm-hmm. And apparently the pizza place, from what I understand, I'm not too familiar with which one it is, but the two guys that wrote the film, I know Jay is the director. He's one of the ones I've been talking to, I guess. It's either him or and you guys have to forgive me because I forget the other guy's name. But one of those guys actually worked there for 2 years.
Okay.
And kind of inspired the idea, and it's a real pizza place that they used on location, for the film Northwood Pizza. I
really felt like they knew too much about how the process, how the business worked, for them to. I mean, that they wouldn't just come up with that randomly. I thought that whoever had written it had certainly, spent some time putting together, a pizza. So,
yeah.
Corey, Corey, I will tell you that you need to watch Northwood Pie. It is exactly your kind of movie. I mean that as a compliment. So, Stephen, if you were going to try to sell people on this movie and you only had 30 seconds to do it, what would you say?
Well, I could steal one review, which not really steal the review itself, but the thing that caught my eye the most when I saw this Northwood Pie account, I've probably already hit 30 seconds. But when I saw the account and I looked into the movie, I was like, okay, it's a movie about pizza. Awesome. I love movies. I love pizza. But then when I saw this review and it says it's like Dazed and Confused meets Clerks, that hooked me. I was like, I don't really remember Dazed and Confused too much. I'm way more familiar with Clerks. So if it's anything like Clerks, I'm in. And if I would say it's a lot like Clerks, but in a pizza place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a good movie. Like you said, I had no expectations going into it. I was like, oh, it's going to be some cheesy, okay, it's a pizza place, whatever. And when I found out it was a romantic comedy, I was like, okay, I can appreciate a romantic comedy. And it being associated with Clerks, I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. And I was really into it. And I was like, I'll just watch a few minutes now and watch the rest later. But as soon as it started, I just all the way till the credits. And I couldn't stop. Couldn't look away.
Yeah, I really loved it. I think for me, it was nostalgic, though I've never really worked in a pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
But it reminded me a lot of college, right? I found myself a manager of my own clothing store at an outlet mall, and I made one of those big mistakes that I went and hired all my friends, right? Have you ever worked with your friends before?
Yes, actually, I spent some time yesterday. Last night, I went to the job that fired me.
Yeah,
and hung out with a couple of friends there at work. One of the girls I used to work with, her fiance. They took her lunch break. He came along during her lunch, and we went out to have some lunch dinner. Really, it was 7 p.m. and we hung out for 2 or 3 hours. It was awesome.
It was. I will tell you that it was fun, but then I had to be the boss. Right, and that part sucked. But I think that it was just that whole dynamic about being on a job and interacting with interesting, weird people sometimes. And I feel like the main character in the whole thing, Crispin, he's interesting, but he's not really all that special.
Like me. And I've said over the last couple of days, I am Crispin.
Yeah. He openly kind of acknowledges that he doesn't know where he's going or what he's doing. He's kind of just floating along. And I think what's great, though, is that in the process of the whole thing, he ends up kind of discovering himself. He finds what he's really passionate about. And I think that was really cool.
Yeah, I just want to I don't want to interrupt, but I threw up that link. Of course, it's not clickable on the video itself, but if you're in the Facebook feed and you're watching this live, you can click on that link in the comments. That'll go straight to Tubi TV. where I saw it. It's available there for free. You just go to that link and boom, it plays right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you guys
then,
totally enjoy it.
and as Corey said, it's on Amazon Prime. It is, and it's available on YouTube. What I would suggest is watch the movie on Tubi for free. And if you really, really love it, support those guys and go ahead and go on YouTube and buy it. Or Amazon, whatever you choose. I plan on doing that because I would love to watch it anytime. I hope for a physical copy, like a DVD. So we need to find out if they have that available. If not, then they need to.
You mean like a signed copy?
Yeah, that would be awesome. And maybe a free coupon for a piece of pizza, even though I probably wouldn't be able to use it because it's a long drive.
I'll take your coupon, Steven.
Yeah, you can have the coupon, and then
I just might be willing to drive to Irvine for pizza.
We could do like a remote video where you go and say, like, this is the filming location, and the pinball machine is still there.
Right. Hey, you know what? I would probably box it up and send it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how well it would be once we're, I don't know. It could get here.
It could get there. It may not be exactly the way you want it when it shows up.
I would say maybe just opt to get the box, a pizza box, and send a pizza box.
I'll take a picture of it and send it to you.
There we go.
It might be better.
That'll work. I'll blow the picture up and hang it on my wall.
So I don't know why, though, it matters to me where it was filmed. I mean, I didn't grow up in Irvine, but you think about it when you find somebody who, just like Lee Newton, who's from your neck of the woods in North Carolina, or other people that are from nearby you, right? You feel there's like this affinity or this closeness with them. For me, that was kind of cool.
It is. I related to that movie in so many ways. Like I said, I'm the real Crispin. I joke about that, and it's the little things too. It's just like the floating around, not knowing where you're at. Like these jobs that you look at as dead end jobs, when a lot of them are dead end jobs. Sometimes it's not really a dead end if there's something there worth being there for. And spoilers in this video, by the way, because we're probably going to talk about the movie in depth, or at least details. If you haven't seen it, we don't want you to go, oh no, I didn't know that yet. And so in case you're wondering, like, yeah, there might be a spoiler. But yeah, like working and the relationships at work is what I really loved about work, or still love about work.
Yeah. I think for me, the payoff for me at the end of the movie, I think that we all hope for that mic drop moment, that we all have that opportunity to be remembered for something. And again, I won't spoil that thing at the end. Yeah,
we won't spoil the very ending. We'll probably talk about little details in between.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil the ending. It's like, that's a dick move. It's like, hey guys, listen to this movie about this movie that you've never seen, and here's the ending. Now go watch it.
Right.
I don't really want to do that.
I don't really find that it would be necessarily that ruined, but I don't want to give it all away. I want there to be some surprise. But you guys go out and watch it. I do just feel like I walked into watching the movie and I had zero expectations. I really hadn't heard anything about it. And yet there was something really kind of, I think, relatable with the characters, and again, if you've ever worked, one of my very first jobs, I worked at a gas station, and I worked at a gas station. I stocked the shelves and that little hot dog rotisserie.
Oh yeah.
I put the hot dogs on there. I can't look at those things and not just remember that.
Yeah.
And just that whole joke about how long has that pizza been there? It was the same thing about those hot dogs. I could not tell you how long those hot dogs had been there.
Oh my gosh. And they always, like, the last gas station I worked at, it didn't have the little like rotisserie, like carousel thing, but it had the little hot rollers where they just roll in place.
Right.
And after a while, those hot dogs, I swear, I picked one up once, threw it on the ground, and it kind of bounced. And so it was like this long rubber Super Ball, but like long.
Right.
And I did want to point out that the director, and I'm probably not going to pronounce his name right. I already sent him a message. Jay Salahi. That sounds right, the way it reads. he's actually he's not joining us live or anything, but I told him, hey, we're talking about your flick on here, and he's like, oh, cool, I'm listening. Thanks a lot. So
great.
Thank you for the movie, and both of you guys. I know it was Jay and Todd that co-wrote and made this movie happen, and it's wonderful. It really did inspire me too, because like I mentioned a minute ago, I've been writing my own little screenplay, and I realized that I went back in the program. I use this writing program, and you can kind of trace back and see a history of your save points, where you were at different stages, which is really cool, because it kind of shows you how far you've come from like the first part and the second part and all this and that.
Yeah. And
I went back to the beginning of that history, and it was August 6th, 2019, or no, 2018. Sorry. So, and I'm sitting here like, oh yeah, I've only been writing it for like a year or so, and it's been 3 almost. So, but after watching Northwood Pie, I came in to my computer here and I just started writing.
Yeah.
I just started up, and I was, it's like, and Jay even told me, just like you've suggested, and everybody that's written anything before, Mark Guggenheim, our friend Scott Schiaffo, like all these people that have written or been involved in any kind of film or TV has always said, don't worry too much about having it perfect as you go. Write it and then go back and revisit it. It's so hard for me to do that, though, because I'm like, I got to have it perfect, because the problem is I think of something that works better for that particular scene or line, and I go back and add that in, and I just get stuck reshaping this first 20, 30 pages, and then it's like, oh. But I went straight down, and I've noticed some of the lines, some of the dialogue there that's like, oh man, I can take this out, I can take this out. And a lot of what I was doing last night was just taking a lot out. And when you take less is more, and you take it out, it's like, oh my gosh, that works so much better.
Right. I mean, I will tell you that editing is great, but whenever I was talking with my students in my English classes, I would always tell them, you know what, get your rough draft out first. Don't stop. Just simply get out of your head and put it on the paper and capture it. And then once you have it down, then you can go back over it, and that's when you can be picky, Mm-hmm. But otherwise, you end up kind of like sabotaging yourself.
Yeah. And in my case, you get stuck in the same like first act of a film. If you're doing a screenplay, and you're stuck in that same first 20 to 40 pages for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, listen, you're preaching to the choir. I once had a dry patch in my writing that lasted 7 years.
Oh, wow.
7 years where I waited to be inspired, and it just didn't come, right? So when I say that I understand writer's block and how that can hit you, I really do. I also know that sometimes, just kind of putting your head down and diligently doing the work, you can push through it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like like I said, every writer has literally told me almost the exact same thing. And it's like, I need to believe that because everybody's saying it. It must be true.
Yeah.
And it's my problem. Things happen in life, and I want to make I've always wanted to make a film that reflected my life. A lot like movies like Northwood Pie, like Clerks, like all these movies that are like a representation of what the filmmakers actually lived.
Right.
And I wanted to have something like that. And that's my problem. Things have changed so much in the last 3 years that my mind, the state of mind, I just keeps changing. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't work for me anymore. Because originally the movie was all about just being at work. I had no real motive to write other than wanting to do it. I had no story to tell. It was just, I'm going to make my own Clerks. And it's like, blah, blah, blah. I hate that customer. And that's all it really was in my head. And then my brother passed away. And I was like, oh man, that's like touching. Like you have to put that in there. It's like such a dramatic moment.
Yeah.
And then so many things like that, big things in life have happened. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I don't have all this stuff. I always thought that was a bad thing, that my mind changed so much. But it's like, no, you have so much more to work with. You have so much more material to put in there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it an exact day-to-day moment of every little moment in the movie is like, oh, that happened to me for real. No. But I'm getting closer to that. Watching Northwood Pie, watching movies like Fanboys, which is an amazing movie. Stand By Me, movies like that. These like not really coming of age, but like that type of movie, dramas, comedies, like those things really, even Knocked Up. Like I love that movie. And it shows a lot of maturity too, because and the movie's goofy. You know, it's about, oh, look, let's have a one night stand. Now you're pregnant. Oh my gosh, we have to learn to be adults. And it's like there's that growth. But yeah, they're really inspiring because it makes you look at where your life is going and you have no clue, but it really makes you think about it, I guess.
Yeah. I will tell you that definitely is a testament to the movie Northwood Pie, that I think if it inspires you to not give up on your dreams and to pursue it, I think that was kind of the point that they were trying to get through. You got to the place where Crispin ultimately gets to by the very end, right? I think you're just waiting for your mic drop moment.
Yes, I think I am. And I really don't know what that's going to be yet, but
yeah,
I don't think I have to know what that's going to be. Just like Northwood Pie, we don't really know what our life is going to bring us in the near future, but it doesn't really matter. We just know if that's what's right for us or not. We don't know what might come next, but that's not really the point.
I will tell you that when I look back at a year or so ago, I was still a classroom teacher, right? I was still teaching English in my classroom. And then a year ago, COVID hit, and I found myself promoted to being a school administrator, right? And, and this podcast has been in existence for a little over a year. I never thought that I'd be a co-host on this thing. We never know how things are going to pan out. But it is cool to be able to look back and kind of see how far you've come, right?
Exactly. I mean, I've always joked that I wanted to be Kevin Smith when I grow up. Because the dude, he just sits at home and records podcasts and writes movies and makes them. And it's like, dude, he might not be what's a big time movie person. He may not be like a James Gunn rich or a Zack Snyder rich, but he's pretty comfortable with life. I mean, as far as like financially speaking, he's done well for himself. I mean, and in fun, useless fact about Kevin Smith, he lives in Ben Affleck's old house. He bought his house from Ben Affleck. He bought his house from Batman. Yeah. All from doing stuff like this.
Right. He's going to be doing pretty well, frankly.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like this little bit of a leave I've had from work these last couple of weeks, it's just like, oh man, if I could do this forever and be paid money to do it, yay. And then make money writing scripts.
You mean unemployment?
Well, I mean, yeah, but then like actually doing something for it, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. Give us money.
I know. All right. Well, I think we've done about as good a job as we can of not spoiling Northwood Pie, and we plugged it, I think, about as well as anybody could. So we'll just. I think that. Do we have a date yet of when that interview is going to take place?
We don't. We don't have an exact date. Jay was saying like he's open any Sunday, so we just kind of have to. I know I've been talking to Lee Newton about coming back on, but we're looking at either 1 week from now or the next week. We could have him on. We probably could have had him on tonight, but that was a bad idea because I don't like if we're talking to a guy about a movie, like we're gonna need more time than just like a few hours. So
we always try to do our homework before somebody can go, right?
But he's available. We've discussed it, and he's up for anything. Well, not anything. I don't want to speak for him, but I mean,
darn it.
I mean, gosh, I wanted a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was terrible.
It's got dirty all of a sudden.
A little bit. I gotta say though, one of the funniest lines, and it was one of the shortest, like earliest lines in the movie, and it probably shouldn't have been this funny to me. But when Crispin comes in, he's like, the whole scene where he's like, "Okay, I want a job." They're like, "Do you know how to make a pizza?" "No." "Okay, you're hired. Let me get you a shirt." "A shirt?" He doesn't know what a fucking shirt is. That was amazing. Right. I don't know why that was so funny to me, but it was, and that's when I was hooked in. I knew at that point, this is my kind of movie.
Right.
But yeah, probably the weirdest little line that you could even think was funny, but you just got me.
Yeah, you never know what it is that's gonna grab you about a movie and not let you go. But that's a testament to the writers.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And we can't wait to have him on. Maybe, I don't know if they're going to both come on or if it's just going to be Jay, but we'll find out more details over the next week. And hopefully within a couple of days, we'll have a date.
We will make room.
Yes. Right over here or somewhere on my shoulder.
Right.
Like a little devil and an angel. And they're both telling me to like cause trouble. I don't know.
I think I wonder if there's a way that we could get some of the actors.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I'll have to talk to Jay about that. Maybe we can get something together. We'll have a big mega show or something.
Panel or something.
That would be amazing. Like our own little Northwood Pie Con.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Right. Well, something to look forward to.
Also been watching the original, I told you earlier, the 2002 Spider-Man.
So whatever made you decide to do that?
Well, like I mentioned, I think yesterday on the little impromptu show, I've been playing Marvel's Spider-Man game on the Sony PlayStation.
Right.
And that game is amazing. It's, you control Spider-Man. It's open world type environment. You do fight criminals, you do story missions, and you have all these different costumes that you can wear. And I love how you can wear so many different costumes from different versions of Spider-Man. There's, which really surprised me was there's the Toby Mcguire suit in the game. And there is the one that Andrew Garfield wore in his Spider-Man in the game. And then the newest Tom Holland suit is in the game. Even the Iron Spider suit with the arms that come out was in the game. And I'm like, oh man, all these different Spider-Man suits. And they even have like this cartoon, like comic book suit where it's like Spider-Man's a cartoon and the rest of the world, it's like Roger Rabbit almost, or Sin City. Not Sin City, but black and white in color. But yeah, it was awesome. All these different suits. And I thought, one movie I haven't seen in a long time was Spider-Man 2002 with Toby Mcguire. And I gotta say, that movie, I didn't finish it because I knew I didn't know if I'd have time to watch it. And then I got to the point right when Green Goblin comes into like the fair or the parade or whatever it was and starts bombing everybody and vaporizes the board of directors of Oscorp. I got to that part and I'm like, okay, that's a good stopping point to come on and talk about all this fun stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cheesy. It holds up a little, but it's kind of dated.
Yeah.
I mean, just the acting alone, like Mary Jane, played by Kirsten Dunst, like that. She's not terrible, but that character is so like, hello, Peter. What are you going to do today after school? And then in the next scene, she's really pissed off at him for beating up Flash Thompson. It's like he was literally about to kill him in the hallway, and he defends himself with one hit. And they're like, you freak. It's like, what? That made me really mad.
Yeah.
And it always irritates me when I catch the one little Easter egg, not Easter egg, but the one little mess up where he's learning how to shoot webs in his room and he pulls the lamp and breaks it. 2 seconds later, the lamp is still there. And it's like irritating every time, but
maybe he glued it back together real fast.
Maybe.
Yeah. I feel like, though I like Kirsten Dunst as an actress, I felt that as the Mary Jane character has always been rather two-dimensional to me.
Yeah.
So as far as rankings, I know people, it's controversial. People have their favorite Spider-Man, but for me, I've ranked them for me according to how I like them. Tom Holland for me is tops. I really feel like he has that's overexcited, energetic, hyperkinetic, Spider-Man down.
He really kind of gives off that teenage kid from Queens vibe, more so than any other Spider-Man I've seen. And I will go on record right now to say Spider-Man Far From Home is my absolute favorite Spider-Man movie ever. Even though when I first saw Spider-Man Homecoming, I was kind of irritated that MJ wasn't Mary Jane, but some other character called like Michelle Johnson or whatever her name actually is in the movie. That really bugged me because I'm like, MJ is not that girl. It's not, oh, you idiot. Like, why did you do that? But I was like, you know what? Why does it matter? I remembered the speeches I give to people online. Like, it's not a literal adaptation. It's not, it's a different version. And I'm like, oh, wait. Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, fine.
You got to teach them your lesson.
And his friend Ned, I'm like, that should be Harry Osborn. But then how many times have we seen the whole Harry Osborn, Peter Parker, Mary Jane high school, drama kind of thing? We've seen it enough. We don't really need those exact characters.
Right.
I mean, I do hope we see a Mary Jane or a Gwen Stacy at some point, maybe in college. But I can understand if they didn't do it in high school. I mean, even in the comics, Peter Parker originally didn't meet Mary Jane until way later. I believe it was Aunt May's neighbor's or friend, bingo friend or something. It was her granddaughter, and they introduced her to Peter, and he's like, oh my gosh, she's going to be so ugly and ridiculous. Oh, I got to meet her just because my aunt said so. Oh my God, you're beautiful. And he falls in love with her.
Right.
And then that famous line, like, face it, Tiger, you hit the jackpot and all that. Well, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I mean, he's, like I said, Toby Mcguire was like 45 and playing a 16-year-old kid. Andrew Garfield seemed to be age appropriate, but he didn't seem like a Peter Parker. He didn't seem like a kid from New York. He seemed like, I don't know, he gave like maybe a California or a Florida feel. I don't really know how to describe it, like a surfer type.
Which is hilarious because he's British.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, when you hear them talk, I didn't know he was British at first. He's like, oh, hey, Spider-Man's coming out. I'm like, what? The same way with Tom Holland. I didn't know. He was like, oh, yeah, Spider-Man. I'm really happy about that movie. I'm like, what? Like, and it's strange. But these British kids can pull off a better New York American, not even just New York, but a better American character than an American actor. And that's not to take away from Toby Mcguire. I mean, I did like his Peter Parker, the nerd Peter, in the very beginning of the movie, like the science facts, like, did you know this is the largest microscope on the eastern seaboard? And did you know that spiders can sometimes that stuff was good. But right. Then, I don't know, it kind of felt like after the third movie, it was like, okay, by the time he got the symbiote suit and started like, listen, dig, and like all that, like, I was like, okay.
I thought that in that third movie with Toby Mcguire, it was so bad it was good.
Right? Yeah, I still enjoy it.
Over the top, cheesy. It was just hilarious. That in his mind, he was the epitome of cool.
Yeah.
So for me, it is Tom Holland, and I've loved how they've integrated him into Civil War, how they integrated him into Endgame and Infinity Gauntlet. I feel like he just did a fantastic job of integrating with that team. Second place for me for Spider-Man is definitely Tobey Maguire, just for nostalgia, because he's the first one for me. And I love Andrew Garfield. He is my least favorite of the three. I've enjoyed him in everything else that he's done.
Yeah,
he was a character on Doctor Who, and I loved him in that. I enjoyed him in Hacksaw Ridge, and loved that movie with him. There was another. I think he had done like a stage play where he had pulled off a very convincing homosexual, but I just didn't care for his depiction, and I think I just didn't like the writing necessarily.
Yeah. The ending of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 really bugged me because you find out that, spoilers, you find out that Oscorp has pretty much invented all of the villains in the Spider-Man universe.
Right.
You see all the stuff. I'm like, really? How lazy can you be? I mean, I get it. Like the Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man in 2002, it was so cheesy. I mean, they already had this villainous suit, but it was just a fight suit. It wasn't supposed to look angry or mean, but it just was. And they had this glider and all this stuff. And it's like, are we ready to develop the formula? Yes, we are ready. Oh no, we had one failed test out of like 99,000. It's too risky. And like that 1% chance, like, oh, I'm evil. Ha ha ha. Like, so cheesy. But I mean, yeah, I think I would agree with that order. I think mainly because Tobey Maguire, I think, gave a better, not a better, but like a more convincing Peter Parker, just a look. And I think Andrew Garfield has kind of like fallen into that like unlucky spot of he's the middle Spider-Man where he had to follow the first, which is always hard. And then he got upstaged by the youngest and the most convincing. So he's kind of like jammed in the middle, kind of like forgotten. But I did like the fact that a lot of their storylines in those movies kind of held more closer to the comics, where he met Gwen Stacy first. There was no Mary Jane.
Right.
And then she kind of like, I don't remember if she dies in the second movie or the first movie. Didn't she die or almost died? I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen those movies. But it kind of resembled the scene in the comics where, in the comic books, Gwen Stacy and Peter and Harry Osborn, the Green Goblin, were all friends. And I think Harry knocks her down off the bridge, and Spider-Man whips webs down there to catch her. And then when he pulls her up, she's dead. And he struggles with, did I kill her with the webbing or was she dead already? And they kind of did a scene similar to that in the Andrew Garfield movie, so I really loved that. But aside from that, I think, it would have to be Tom Holland, then Toby Mcguire, then Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. All right. At least I won one.
I mean, it would have to be.
Yeah.
And until they start doing time travel, then, who knows? Because there's so many rumors.
Don't get them started on that.
No, there's so many rumors going around right now that, they're going to do, the live-action Spider-Verse stuff.
Oh, and the multiverse thing.
Yeah, they're doing their own multiverse, Spider-Verse kind of thing. Rumored. I watched this video about something about Tom Holland's stunt double was hanging out on a set with Andrew Garfield's stunt double. And the rumor is that, they were filming scenes with both Spider-Man characters, and who knows? I don't know if that's really a time travel thing or more of a multiversal thing, and it's going to be interesting to see how they tie that in, because we saw how Marvel handled their multiverse stuff with Endgame, where it's an infinite amount of universes that aren't affected by your actions, and it's weird and confusing, but we'll see more when it happens, I guess.
I mean, I think that the chance, I would love to see a live action Miles Morales. I think that would that would be really cool. And to do, we've already seen Into the Spider-Verse. I think that would be awesome.
Yes, and Bruce Campbell I forgot about that. He was in just about every movie. But I saw Stan Lee's cameo in the 2002 movie earlier, and it was just such a small cameo. He's like, "Oh, come on, kid, I'll help you," and picks up the girl and saves her and stuff. But I'm excited. I'm excited for Spider-Man, but it's going to be 2022. Wouldn't it be appropriate, though, to have, if you were ever going to have a crossover, have it be the 20th anniversary of the original Spider-Man?
Right.
I mean,
that would be really smart.
It would be very smart on Sony's and Marvel's part, to kind of come together and do that and that's, of course, if everybody is willing to do it. You can't just Toby Mcguire, you are ordered by Sony Pictures to come and appear, and if you don't, we will murder you.
Toby Mcguire will be wheeled in on a stretcher, in a wheelchair, on bottled oxygen.
Yeah. Right. I'm Spider-Man. Go Web, go. I loved that. He's like, go Web, go.
Yeah.
Greatest thing ever.
I did love that.
But yeah, so what about we kind of went a long time talking about Spider-Man. That's kind of nice.
Which is sort of a little bit out of our
yeah. I mean, we're not really contractually obligated to talk about DC characters. We just kind of normally do.
Yeah.
But it's kind of nice to talk about Spider-Man.
I agree.
But yeah, moving on to the Flash, we can just start there. The biggest thing out of last week's episode for me, how about that? I feel like that's when you start to talk about a sports team or something. How about those Braves? Yeah. But Killer Frost and Caitlin Snow no longer the same person, or no longer in the same body.
I think that's really the breakup that I had been hoping for I don't know how many seasons now. The idea is that they would both have to do sort of a timeshare over one body, to me, I think it's fair to either of them. And that now they're two completely different people. Seems interesting in one sense, and problematic in another.
It could be.
We're going to have Caitlin, who, she's the doctor, but now she can't defend herself, and we have, Killer Frost, who's powerful, but she has no empathy. and I think that it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to coexist, being two different people. That's going to be interesting. I wonder. Yeah, go ahead.
I love the reactions of the characters themselves at the very end of the episode, where Killer Frost is like, "Yay!" and then Caitlyn's like, "Oh no." You can see that very huge contrast in like reaction. It's like they both feel completely different about the situation.
You think about it though, like Caitlyn, I think she had gone through she had spent a lot of time working to integrate Killer Frost as a part of herself.
Yeah, right? and to come to terms with that and accept it and not run from it.
Yeah, and there had been a time where Killer Frost was there, but she couldn't access it, and Caitlyn had felt cut off. Yeah,
she was almost addicted. I mean, in a sense.
Yeah, so I feel like this might really be a bit of a mixed blessing, right? That it's that old Chinese proverb: "Be careful what you wish for." You just might get it. I'm certain that there's going to be a downside to this.
I just wonder if they're going to do something weird and off the wall, like say, "Oh, the problem here is that Caitlyn has the Frost powers, but Killer Frost can't do it," or whatever. Like a weird switch kind of thing.
Right.
I don't know if they'll go that far, but it's definitely interesting to see what's going to happen. Like, and see Killer Frost trying to date or something like I got a date, or I don't know, just to see her develop into a person. I think that's going to be kind of cool.
Yeah. I do think that they had essentially kind of exhausted a lot of those internal conflicts, with herself. It only made sense that they would have to kind of change that up a little bit. So I'm looking forward to see what we get here on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's coming up. I mean, it's exciting, and Batwoman too. I mean, well, there's so much more to talk about with Flash. I keep getting something in my eye. It's like an eyelash in it.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just like one of those irritating things where it's just like in there. But with Flash, not only the Killer Frost thing, but like, what did you think about the rest of the episode, like, and everything else that happened?
Yeah, I was trying. It's one of those. I should be able to remember what happened in the episode last week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually the one that doesn't remember anything, and you're like, "Oh, remember at the 4-minute and 2-second mark when this happened?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Right. I'm glad that you think that I usually have a pretty good memory for this stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
For whatever reason, I can't. I remember the Killer Flash moment, and that's the part that I remember the most.
I remember that big guy, and I feel kind of stupid for not knowing the character, but that really huge, like, monstrous guy that like came out of nowhere and started like attacking everybody.
Yeah, and we really don't know who that person is, other than it's just big and ugly. And
then it ties into that the Force light that you saw when they reactivated the Speed Force,
right? And
those 4 different colors of light that are from the comics. That like one's the Speed Force, one's like the Love Force, one is like the Hate Force, or there's like all these different elements or whatever.
I believe there's like the Strength Force, there's the Speed Force, there is the Sage Force.
Yes. Okay.
So there are certainly different forces. Well, it did seem very, Captain Planet-y, Power Rangers-y.
Yeah. Earth, wind, water, fire, by your powers combined, I am Captain Planet. Captain Planet, he's a hero. Don't remember the rest of the words. But, yeah.
Brings pollution down to 0.
Oh, yeah, that's right. When I was a kid, I had the little toy ring. And it came with the little this little plastic toy ring that had a lid that you could open. And these little, like, see-through discs go in there, and when you pushed a button, it lit up with like the fire lit symbol or the water symbol, and I was like, yeah. And it was really some useless piece of plastic that just went like, and that's really all it did.
Right. It's amazing to know even what little things like that meant to you when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, it is. Captain Planet they need to have a live action Captain Planet movie.
Yeah. So I feel like this again is sort of like the particle accelerator, creating this whole new range of bad guys all over again.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we already saw that big, huge dude, and then coming up, we saw the guy in the weird purple mask,
right,
who's coming in, and the abracadabra. That's what happened.
that's what it was.
Yes, that was such a big part of the episode too. We both forgot it.
There were a couple things. I think that part of it was this episode was dealing with the aftermath of Iris being in the Mirrorverse, and we begin the episode and Barry is like taking Iris to all of these romantic locations,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't realize it at the time, but Barry's doing it for a very specific reason, right? That he feels guilty that he had not been able to rescue Iris sooner, right? So he's trying to, just like the guy who buys the big car to, compensate, right? Barry's compensating because he feels guilty. He has to somehow make up for that. And the problem is that Iris sees right through it, and she knows that something's wrong, right?
Yeah.
And and you feel bad for Barry, right? There was nothing done, right? It wasn't like he intentionally had abandoned her, but the one thing we know about Barry is he always internalizes things, right? If there is someone to be blamed, Barry's going to blame himself, and that's a pretty consistent thing. So Barry's internalizing it, and Iris was doing the opposite, right? That she was like to ignore that it ever happened.
Yeah.
And so we had seen her essentially going to that meeting of other people who had been in the Mirrorverse.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like the support group, recovery group kind of thing. And that was really cool to see that.
Yeah. Iris essentially had PTSD.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, sometimes a lot of these shows, they're tackling certain issues head on, right? And I think that
the blame force.
Yes, absolutely. But I do think that they do tackle these things head on. People that go through trauma, they deal with it in different ways. For Barry, he internalizes it, or he tries to compensate for it.
Mm-hmm.
For Iris, she hides it and denies it. Right?
Until it's too late a lot of the times.
Yeah, until it's too late. I think that she's always felt like she has to be strong enough to get there. And she realized that it was time for her to accept it, that she could never really move on until she did. That at least was the first step. And I think she also was able to kind of inspire other people because she was honest with herself.
It's weird how Iris is. Like you said, she's inspirational. She can help people and all this. But she's kind of like the cause of a lot of problems. Like if Barry was like, you know what, I'm tired of Iris, no, then everybody else would have such an easier life.
But Steven, Iris is lightning rod.
Yeah, you're my lightning rod. We are the Flash. The love force is stronger than all.
Run toward love, Barry. Run toward love.
Love, Barry, love. But yeah, I mean, that is a little cheesy, but I mean.
So I love the show, and I've been dedicated to it for years. But yes, there are moments where I just go, really? Really? Run to love? My lightning rod? I remember there was like the scene between Barry and Oliver and during Crisis, and Oliver's like, Barry, do you trust me? And Barry's like, with every cell of my body.
Yeah, that was a little disturbing there. It's like, who do you love, Iris or Oliver?
No, I thought he and I'm pretty sure he said it twice.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad we got that out of there. So there are some cringy moments.
A little bit.
But
a little bit.
As we found, that that is sort of Barry's MO, right? It's not like he's never been like that before.
And what about this new vibe? Like, did I miss something, or did he just do that last week or the week before? Like, I think I blinked and missed one that, like, he just was this new vibe.
I know. Well, I think that perhaps he's realized the error of his ways, going through all the hassle of getting his powers suppressed, and now he's realized that just being the smartest man on the planet and one of the best hackers and engineers just isn't enough, right?
Right.
Now he's got to be Mecha Vibe, or I don't remember what they called him.
People are calling him Mecha Vibe. I don't know if that's what the show is calling him, but I know people online are calling him that.
Or Robo Vibe, or...
It's kind of cool, though. I mean, it gives him both. It gives him that ability to not be on all the time.
You're right.
But at the same time, like, if he wants to take his glasses off and take his stuff off, if he's, walking and bumping into someone, he's not going to see their death or anything crazy, Yeah.
I certainly understand the ability to turn a power on or off, or to say, I'm not going to do this today. But we've also noticed that when you rely on tech, we've already seen these things malfunction, right?
Yeah.
To not work the way that they're supposed to, right? That is, there are certainly ways that they can go haywire. That
like
said,
the thinker.
Yes. I find that I really, though, enjoy having the vibe back in the field.
I do. I like having that. And then I feel bad for Caitlin, like you said before. It's like, what is she going to do? She's just going to be the doctor? Like, well, you have 4 broken ribs. Here's a Band-Aid. Like, hopefully there's more to the story than that.
Right. So probably Velocity 11 or something.
Yeah, like, that would be cool. Velocity 300. Like, I don't know. I mean, there's just so much going on. I'm really excited to see what the rest of the Arrowverse is going to be this year, and even moving forward. And even the movies are getting, like, a side note, I saw that on the new the new Suicide Squad, the Thinker is one of the members of the Suicide Squad.
And it's played by?
No, the Thinker, I don't remember who plays the Thinker.
Okay, so for me, I know because the Thinker had been Dr. Hugh in the 12th Doctor. Okay, yeah. Played by Peter Capaldi. And so, big time actor, really good, and he's Scottish. So I wonder if he'll be playing with a Scottish accent. That would be really awesome.
I want to see, too, if that movie has anything to do with the original. I know everybody's saying it's more like a reboot.
I don't know. I think that Margot Robbie, I think, is still playing, Harley Quinn.
And we have the same Amanda Waller.
Right.
And what I feel bad, I don't remember the characters, like the Boomerang Man or Mr. Boomerang or whatever, Dr. Boomerang, whatever it is. Same guy. And I noticed, too, that in the new upcoming Black Adam movie, that we're going to have Dr. Fate, which is a Justice Society character. We have not seen on live action anything since Smallville did their little Justice Society storyline. Right. And that's played by Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Which I thought, wow, Pierce Brosnan in a comic book movie. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this is really a great time where we're really seeing the apex of a lot of these superhero movies.
I think DC's stepping it up with the movies.
They really are. I think they've been forced to step up their game when they've been up against this monolith of the MCU, right? After what they've done with all the build-up for Infinity Gauntlet and for Endgame, I think that they've really had to go and follow up on their end too. And I think they're doing a great job. Frankly, I will watch superheroes any way I can.
Yeah.
I've often thought back about when my brother and I were kids, we would sit around and read comic books, and we would just kind of think out loud and daydream about the day when we would see these comic book characters brought to life, and who we'd have them play, what teams we would put together. And in my mind, I just thought, there's no way this will ever happen, right? It would just be something that's gonna a game that I would play in my head. And so for me to see those characters brought to life, you know what? For me, that just never gets old, and I'm excited about it. Now, do they sometimes let me down? Yeah. But I've been really happy with what they've been doing across the board with so many of these movies. And so
absolutely. And Titans, I'm excited for Titans season 4 coming up soon, and Stargirl season 2.
Season 3, we're still waiting for Titans.
Oh, that's right. I got mixed up with what is it? I got mixed up with. I've been watching so much this past year in 2021 that I'm getting a lot of it mixed up.
There are so many.
Yeah.
But definitely Titans is one of those. If you guys haven't seen Titans, you really do need to. They are amazing.
Nightwing.
You get Nightwing, Raven. You get Hawk. You get Hawk and Dove. Beast Boy. That whole team plus Wonder Girl and
the rest here.
Right. Certainly feels like that. I think they've just done a really great job of crafting a story.
Yes.
Plus, we got Slade Wilson, right? We got Deathstroke, and all of that kind of stuff. Really, if you have not watched, Titans, you really are missing out. You should go see it.
And that's another thing I was going to point out about Spider-Man 2002, was the guy that played Flash Thompson. Do you remember who plays Flash Thompson in that movie?
I don't.
It's Joe Manganiello. Is that how you pronounce it? I always want to say Mangello, but that sounds really disturbing. I didn't realize that he played Flash Thompson. Like, because back then you don't know who that guy is. You're like, who's this guy? But looking back now, you're like, wow, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting that he was Flash Thompson.
That is cool. That's cool. I think the one show we have yet to talk about tonight is my current favorite of the lineup, and that is Superman and Lois.
And Batwoman as well. We didn't really mention Batwoman yet.
We have. Which one did you want to talk about? Did you want to talk about Batwoman first?
I think we can go with Batwoman first because there's probably less to talk about there.
Yeah. I think that what we've seen with Batwoman, I think the bombshell, I think that we need to talk about is up to this point, it's sort of like this cat with a ball of yarn kind of thing about is Kate alive? Where is Kate? For a minute, we think that Kate really is dead, and then they reveal what? Kate's alive.
Yeah, and I was really confused when I watched that because I heard that, Kate Kane returns, and they showed pictures of the new actress playing Kate Kane, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting because they look alike. Yeah, they really do, and I think it's going to be a good fit. But
it does make me feel a little bit, I don't know if sad's the right word.
Sort of.
I feel like,
almost cheated.
Javicia Leslie's writer is just starting to stand on her own 2 feet.
Right.
Now they're going to bring back the character that she has been brought in to replace.
I think what's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is that you're going to see Kate Kane there, but you're going to see Ryan Wilder as Batwoman.
Right.
I don't think they're going to have a Kate Kane Batwoman again.
I guess they would need to explain why Kate Kane would intentionally step back from being Batwoman and let Ryder take over.
And you have to think, how is Kate going to be incorporated back into the story, because everybody now thinks she's actually dead.
Right.
And I was expecting to see Kate walk in and be like, hey, everybody, it's me, Kate. Remember me? But no, we don't see her. We think she's dead until the very last second. And I actually missed this, and I had to rewind and go back and watch it again. You see a beaten up, almost dead Kate with bandages all over her face. Unrecognizable. I thought it was just a loose body, like skin, some sort of Alice thing with facing, and just I didn't know what to think it was. And I rewinded. I was like, that's Kate. Like, oh my gosh, she's there. So you got to think when she heals up and comes back, no one's going to recognize her at first. Or they're going to just pretend like, oh, that's Kate. That's the same face she's always had.
Right.
But, you know.
I feel like that has become, it used to be that in the old soap operas, somebody would get a brain tumor, right?
Yeah.
Or they would get amnesia. And those were sort of the patterns that you would always get in a soap opera.
Yeah.
I feel like right now we're kind of stuck in this, as Corey would put it, Aunt Viving people, right? Where we are wax on one character and wax on another. And that's sort of, and if they do it well, I guess as an audience, we can suspend disbelief and go, oh, I accept this person as that character. But more often than not, it doesn't work. They did it on Black Lightning with Lightning, with Anne McClane's character, and they had to figure out some clever way of doing it. And then they've done it here, with this show, with Batwoman.
I mean, speaking of Aunt Viving, I know Fresh Prince is just not related to anything else really. Right. But along with the new Aunt Viv, they had a new baby Nicky. He was a baby. And then like 3 months later, he was like 4 years old. Always bugged me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, that's nothing. 4 years to let him grow up. But but even with Hartley Sawyer, right, that they had to find some creative way to essentially write him out of the show.
I thought that was entertaining. It's getting a lot of hate, and I can see why. But I think
I think the truth is, whether we like to admit it or not, there is no good way to write a beloved character off of the show.
If you're going to recast, if they're not coming back at all, then it's easier, I think, to get rid of the character entirely than it is to convince the audience that somebody else is this character. And on soap operas, I remember watching those with my mom, and it was even worse on soap operas. There was no like suspension of disbelief. They basically tell you at the start of the show, this is all fake.
Right. Because
when a new actress would come in, it's like, from now on, the part of this person will be played by this person. And it's like, why did you have to say that?
Right.
And it's like, they broadcast that on the show. It's like, why?
I mean, I guess the concern is, should we be worried when the shows that we love start kind of falling down this soap opera trope pattern, right? Of, thinking of bad excuses to get rid of characters. I keep going. These are shows that have consistently surprised me and wowed me and kept me entertained. They'll figure a way through this, but it does concern me that this seems to be happening a lot right now, right?
It does. And an interesting comment. Keep on going to every show. What's next? Tyler isn't going to be Superman now. Right. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? Like next season, Superman and Lois season 2. It's going to be, I don't know, Michael Cera as
right.
Or something crazy like that. Like
it's just going to be Lois and fam, right?
Or just Lois.
Right. Lois on the farm, down home with the Kents. That would be the show.
Or just and Lois.
And Lois. Right.
Just and Lois.
What happened?
Speaking of that. Yeah. Yeah, speaking of Superman and Lois, that's the one thing we haven't talked about. It's like the main.
And I think that it's great that we are saving the best for last, right?
Yeah.
Superman and Lois is hands down right now my absolute favorite. I'm just going to put that out there.
Very good point here. Darren Stevens and Bewitched Twitch, nobody really noticed. You know what? That's a good point. It's one of the best recasts I think I've ever seen on TV.
Right. Right.
I mean, you can clearly tell he was a different guy, but I mean, honestly, they looked so much alike. When I was a kid watching reruns, I was like, wait a minute, something's different about him. But it took me a while to put it together.
No, I mean, I think that's kind of the joke is that Darren got replaced and nobody cared.
Nobody cared, yeah.
Nobody cared, right? It doesn't matter if you can recast somebody that nobody cares about, right?
That's
but
true.
Recasting a pivotal character, right? Like if they had recast the actual lady herself that the show revolved around,
Yeah,
I think somebody would have noticed.
probably.
But Superman and Lois, thankfully, that's not the situation.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, anyway. I will say that what I like about it, they've done a really good job of striking a balance in each episode between, you know, the fight scenes that we come to expect from Superman and
Mhm.
the dorky dad, Clark Kent.
Yeah.
And the teenage angsty drama, I think. I kind of like that. Sort of like getting a front row seat into my living room.
Yeah, much like me watching Northwood Pie was like watching myself in a mirror. It's kind of shocking. Like, what? But yeah, I love that show. I don't know what it is, honestly. I think like everything you said, it's just, and it's a new way to look at Superman.
Right.
And you keep wondering, like, how can they keep finding ways to tell Superman's story in a different way? And they always do.
Yeah, they do.
And Smallville was before Superman. Superman and Lois is, kind of after. It's kind of like semi-retirement. And, but I mean, come on, don't forget about Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
Right.
I mean, Superman living in an apartment building. I mean, that was a good show for what it was.
Clearly, Superman and Lois did not make very much money working for the Daily Planet.
I guess not.
Yeah.
They had to split an apartment.
I know. It was pretty sad. But I will say that I think the dynamic that I'm interested in seeing play out in Superman and Lois is what's going on with the kids. I think that we've got Jordan and we have Jonathan,
Mm-hmm.
And they've had a good relationship. They really do seem to watch out for each other, which I think is, that whole best friends, worst enemies kind of situation. But I think we've also seen, Jonathan has always been the chosen one of the family, and he's always been a bit of the goody of the family, not stepping out of line and kind of doing what he's told, and always been popular. And we've seen him struggle a lot, right?
We have, yeah.
And I feel like that Jonathan's going to get to a place where he's desperate, right? He's going to be desperate, and if somebody were to offer him the opportunity to get powers and be like his brother or to be like his dad, I really feel like Jonathan's going to jump for it.
I was just thinking something along those lines. We know he's half Kryptonian already. He doesn't have powers, but he's half Kryptonian. So have we seen either of those kids around kryptonite? I don't think so. I don't think we have. So, will it affect them even though they don't have the abilities? And I say kryptonite because we all know, we don't all know, but we know that red kryptonite affects the emotions. So I don't know why, but I have a feeling that maybe Jonathan discovers some sort of power. That's when he starts to go down that road. Maybe he gets exposed to red kryptonite and no one knows, and he starts changing his attitude, and everybody's like, well, what's going on with him? And then maybe at that point he's lured into hey kid, I have a van. Come get in my van. I have powers in here. Do you want some powers? Come on in.
Well, we already know that Edge has been working on building an army.
Right.
So it's not like there aren't ample opportunities for Jonathan to end up, being manipulated by Edge. And if Jonathan ends up leaving, like he keeps threatening to do, to be like his dad, again, it wouldn't take much for him to end, getting manipulated by Edge in order to finally be like the rest of the people in his family.
Something is definitely building up there.
I really do feel like that.
Because every week it's just you see Clark, and you're starting to see these flashbacks of young Clark and his mom. Just Like, oh, I don't want to be here. This is stupid. It's a farm. Blah, blah, blah. Same exact things his son is now saying to him. And he's realizing, like, I'm kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. And then he's going to drive the kid away.
Yeah.
So like it's building to something.
It really is. You know, they call that the curse of the mother, right? Mm-hmm. The curse of the mother is, may you have a child as ornery and disobedient as you are, right? And you know what's crazy is it works every single time, yep. Right? You end up with a kid that is just like you, right? And because that's what ends up pissing you off as a parent is when you look at your kid and you realize that thing that really drives you nuts, right? That's you, right? And that's what we see here. I think Clark recognizes in Jonathan that aspect of himself that he wants to finally be on his own. He wants to prove himself, and it's why he doesn't stop him. Right? We'll see what happens on Tuesday, whether or not he ultimately leaves. But I feel like it's building to something, right?
It definitely is. Absolutely. I don't know if it's going to lead Jonathan off to be lured in by Morgan Edge, or if it's going to be him just at some point naturally developing powers. Because we know that Superboy was Jonathan Kent, Superman's son, and then of course the other Superboy was Connor Kent, or they called him different names, Connor or Connor Kent or this or that, but it was a clone of Lex and Clark, and they've shown that in Titans. We've got him at the end of last season. But yeah, we don't know how, but I think at some point in the show's run, Jonathan Kent will have powers.
Right. And I think that's going to ultimately be the big bad we don't see coming. Right?
Jonathan Kent will be the big bad? You think?
Consider this, that I really believe that Superman is one of those characters that he can take out anybody. Right? That if you try to take on Superman directly, you're going to lose, right? He's going to take you out, right? He's going to fry you with his eye beams. He's going to outstrength you. He's going to outspeed you. He's going to outfly you. He's going to freeze breath you. And even if you have kryptonite, he's going to find a way to deal with that. The one thing he is not prepared to deal with, though, is his family. His family, as we found, is his biggest weakness.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Superman having to fight his own son? Or
that'd be awesome.
You know what I mean? Having to fight his son, or we have the brothers fighting it out. I mean, I think that we know that's got to happen at some point. That's what I'm thinking. If I can make my wager, I would double down on it happening. That Jonathan's going to get turned. Maybe not as far as Anakin Skywalker, right?
But, you are the chosen one,
right? But I really do believe. I really do believe that we see in Jonathan the seeds that eventually will grow. That jealousy that he has, that jealousy and the lust for power, I think we're really going to see something kind of come.
Another good point. You know, your wife has a lot of good points.
Yeah, I married her for a reason.
I think it will be a huge build of emotions for Jonathan to break through with powers, just like his brother did. I think that's a very good point. Like he's going to, like you said, he's going to build up and build up and build up, and he's going to be this angry, evil, whatever mix of emotions, and at the end of it, it's just like, raw, and then lasers come out of his eyes, and he starts flying everywhere, and all this is happening, and that's when Superman's going to be like, oh, damn it, and then have to actually, like, spank his son.
Yeah. The part of it that I think is going to be problematic is that the ability to give people powers doesn't seem to work all the time. Right? It seems like for some people, they end up going nuclear, right?
Yeah.
And we've already seen that. But here's what I believe. I think that Jonathan's powers are latent, and when he comes in contact with that accelerator in the hospital, it's going to activate the powers he already has, and that's why it will work for him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it won't work for other people. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. There were some other things, other twists in there. The Captain Luther kind of went incognito.
Yeah.
Right? Up to this point, he's been very bold and, dealing with Superman directly, even actively kind of working behind his back. But in this last episode, he took all the armor off. He goes to Smallville, and out of all the things he does, he confronts Lois.
Yeah, directly, just straight up.
And as we find out, there's a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he and Lois on this alternate Earth, he and Lois had been in a relationship, right?
And he thinks that it's not gonna matter that it's a different Lois because they're exactly the same in every way,
right?
Which is interesting because like every other multiversal like doppelganger we've seen has been a lot different, and so these two Lois Lanes are the same. And it makes me wonder too which Lois Lane it was. I think it maybe could have been. I don't think it matters, but maybe he's the Lex of the Earth where we see Superman dead, and Lois above this dead Superman holding him in Crisis. Or was it Crisis or Elseworld? No, it's Crisis. Because they jump around to Earth to stop their Lex from killing all these other Supermens.
Right.
That was great. I got sidetracked there, but yeah.
No, I think you bring up a good point. Remember that those were all Supermen that were on worlds that existed pre-Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking about worlds that exist post-Crisis. Those worlds don't exist anymore. And so that's kind of where I am in this whole thing. I think that first and foremost, it's going to make it interesting to see if Captain Luther is going to go after Lois as a love interest, or if he's still going to continue to be fooled that Clark Kent isn't Superman.
Yeah.
But I feel like we are certainly seeing the clever side of him certainly come out.
It brings another question to me too. Like the whole, he's a Lex Luthor, but he's not a doppelganger Lex Luthor. So the whole rules of the new multiverse is that doppelgangers can't exist on the same Earth. So I'm assuming Superman and Lois is still on Earth Prime. And so if that Lex Luthor is still there and this new Luthor is there, even though they're not like doppelgangers, would that rule still apply to them? There's two Lex Luthors in the same world.
Right. Well, we don't know if he's Lex. We just
That's
know
true.
And so, they
you assume he's Lex, but you don't know. That's
right.
True.
Nowhere in this has he identified himself as Lex. We just know that he's Captain Luther. And so, apparently because there hasn't been any conflict between the two existing at the same time, I'm sure they found a loophole.
Probably. I always assumed that since they're not doppelgangers, that there could be a Lex Luthor or a Superman or whoever, whatever character, and it not be a doppelganger.
Right.
And still, work out.
Right. But I do feel like this Luthor, his cleverness of being subtle, right? Yeah. He's subtle. He's using his wits to figure things out. He's not just rushing into battle. He's investigating. That makes him very dangerous.
It really does.
It does. I think that that last but not least is, we had left off with Samuel, right? Samuel is Lois's father, and outwardly to Superman and Lois, or Clark and Lois, They think that everything is good, that he's on their side, that that he understands his boundaries of where where Clark's responsibilities as Superman end, and where they overlap as him as a father. But we do know privately, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did he do?
Oh gosh, that now I'm blanking out. I knew what you were going with there, and then I just kind of spaced out. What did he? Now I'm doing like you did with the Flash.
I know. I wasn't trying to give you a gotcha.
I'm like, wait, what?
I know. No, I think that what we see here is that clearly Samuel has realized that Superman is no longer in his back pocket, right?
Right. Yeah.
He had really enjoyed the power of snapping his fingers and summoning Superman wherever he goes, and now he's realized that Superman essentially has told him no.
And he's very angry about that.
He is. And enough so that he is willing to go and put together a contingency plan to deal with Superman.
And that says a lot, too, because before he kind of like decided to stand up and be like, you know what? No, I'm not helping you anymore. He already had a plan, a what if, the whole time. So that's a little messed up.
I mean, the truth is that if Superman did not have his morals, right, and had he not been raised by the Kents, he could have turned out much, much differently, right?
Oh yeah,
that whole statement about how absolute power corrupts absolutely, right?
Yep.
Superman could have learned to abuse his power for his own gain and become God.
Become Ultraman.
He could have. Yeah. And yet he dedicates his life to service, to the service of others, to truth, justice, and the American way. That's huge.
It is.
But I think that there are also those who recognize the power he has and realize that it wouldn't take much for Superman to abuse his powers for his own purposes.
Yeah, it really wouldn't.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
I mean, you think about even with the government. What if the government did something that Superman disagreed with?
Oh gosh,
right?
I mean, maybe Superman would join the Russians or something. I don't know.
If you remember in the old movie, the old Christopher Reeves movies, right? Yeah. Superman went and collected all of the world's nuclear missiles and threw them all into the sun. I mean, that's one example I think of him using his powers, albeit for a good reason, but I'm sure he ticked off a lot of people, right, in the process.
I would do that probably. I would probably, yeah. I mean, sure, they could develop new missiles, but I mean, it'd take forever.
Right. Yeah, you can't have a nuclear war with missiles we don't have, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could just use water guns. Like, where will get you?
So, yeah. Yeah, Rochambeau.
Yeah. It's like, you have dishonored my country. Like, you have dishonored my country too.
So I know. That would be the point that I'm making for myself is that I feel like when it comes to Superman and Lois, there are so many different variables at play, so many different directions that the storyline can go that I really just enjoy the novelty of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I what I hope is that as the story progresses, they don't lose the characters, right, in the action or in the family drama, right?
And I hope they don't kill off one of the kids too soon.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but I have this weird feeling that like it's gonna be so dramatic and one of them is gonna die. I don't want to jinx it. And I'll watch the season finale is gonna be like Jordan getting killed by Captain Luthor or something. Like, and I made it happen.
I don't think that they're going to die. But I
hope not.
certainly believe. In fact, again, like I told you, I will double down that the family will be used as leverage. I know that certainly that they're going to be used. They're going to find out who Clark Kent is, and they're going to know the easiest way to control him is going to be through his family. So,
yeah. Oh gosh, that would be terrible. I hope I didn't jinx the show now.
If it is, it's all your fault.
It will be.
I know.
And then this show will get canceled because I said that, and then you're gonna have somebody else come in and replace me. You're gonna recast me. You're gonna Aunt Viv me.
I'm gonna Aunt Viv you, and it's just going to be between a pod, and we won't talk about the rest.
Or it'll just be a hard place.
A hard place, yes.
Then just have a rock on this end, just a rock, not the rock, but a rock.
A rock, yeah. You know, I don't think this podcast would work just with me.
Yeah, it's awkward doing it alone. It really is.
Yeah,
it was for me. I'm just sitting here like I really like the Flash. I have a Lego. Good night, everybody. And then
yesterday when we were talking in that little impromptu session,
yeah,
we like break out our abacuses and try to figure out how long we've been friends.
Yeah, and we always kind of go back and forth, and I think we address it every now and then, and it's like
you had said something crazy like 9 years.
It's something like that. I want to see when Heroes Reborn came out. That was the question I brought up yesterday, and I never really figured it out because it was right before, or maybe 6 months per year. I think we said before Reborn.
Yeah.
So Heroes Reborn. This is what Google is for. I keep forgetting we have Google. Let's see. When was the show? When did that show? Okay, so it came out September 24th, 2015. So I would say, I think it'd be safe to say that 2014 is when we first, somewhere in 2014 is when we first kind of like discovered each other. That sounded really wrong. Didn't discover each other, but kind of found each other online.
Platonically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2014. So yeah, it's quite a while.
I know. So seven years.
Yeah. Okay. I was a little off by saying 9, but that's not too far off.
I know. It's still longer than it feels, right?
It really is, because you think of how long ago 2014 was and how much has happened in between. And it doesn't feel that long, but when you say Heroes Reborn, you're like, oh, that show, it came out like 20 years ago.
Right.
It feels like forever ago that show was out.
Yeah. I think what's cool is, again, you just never know. You just never know what things are going to lead to. Like I've said before, there are so many friendships that I had developed from that Heroes group, and I'm still in contact with now. And it's crazy how it happens.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many people. There's probably people in my friends list that I don't remember how I know them. Probably from that group or groups like that. You make those connections and you forget. Just like it took us like all this time to like sit here, and I had to Google like the exact date and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember, because you get involved in talking about things and it just kind of gets lost and you just go. And it's crazy.
I know. Well, hey, we got a lot to look forward to watching here this week.
Yes, and hopefully we'll have a big show next week.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I know Flash and Superman and Lois on Tuesday. Isn't Supergirl coming back here soon?
Very soon. Let me. I have to look that up now really quick, because I know it's coming soon, and I know that. Oh gosh, one of the shows is ending soon. Not ending, but like mid-season, I think. Batwoman, I think, is coming near the mid-season finale.
Yeah.
Because it's been on for quite a while now. We forget that it came on. What was it, like 4 or 5 weeks earlier than all the other shows? Supergirl. When is the new season? I don't know how to Google very well.
I think it comes on here soon, because I think it's Superman and Lois. They have their episode on Tuesday, and then they're going to go on a hiatus until May.
Yeah. Okay. So 3 more sleeps. This is the Supergirl Twitter account posted. This was yesterday, so really 2 days. So yeah, it's this week, I guess, because it says the tweet that they put out yesterday was 3 more sleeps. The final season premiere Tuesday at 9/8 Central. So yes, I guess last week's episode of Superman and Lois was the mid finale.
Okay.
Or maybe not, because it says Tuesday at 9 unless they're moving Superman and Lois. Because this Tuesday at 9 is when Supergirl comes out.
Okay. They're probably just taking that spot.
Probably. And it makes me wonder, though, where Superman and Lois is going. Now I'm worried. I'm like, where's it going to go? Where's it going to go?
They'll find a place for it.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not going to dive into that one on Google. I'll be there all night.
Right.
But hopefully.
Probably remind people about our Twitter stuff.
And that's where I was going I was looking through the comments here.
We were vibing.
We kind of were. Let's see. Whoops. Well, that's a good comment. My favorite show is Supergirl. I do like Dreamer was a very good character. I said was because I haven't watched Supergirl in like 2 years. Not because it's bad, but I just got lost in it, or not lost in it, but lost out of it and haven't picked back up again. And it's hard to kind of like dive back in because you really don't know. Do I just start with the new season? Do I go back and catch up because I've got to watch like 2 seasons?
And as you're working on getting those Twitter handles up there, I will address it. Danny, when we had Mark Guggenheim on the show, I had specifically thanked him for just being for writing characters that were real, right? Mm-hmm. And by real, I mean including women characters, including people of color, and including people LGBTQ, right, across the spectrum. Because as we all know, representation matters, right?
Exactly.
And his response, it was one of those moments where he was rarely angry, but he was angry in that moment. He says because that is just the reality of the world. These people exist, and they deserve a place in our shows, and it shouldn't be, weird or strange. It shouldn't make news. We should just expect that characters like these are going to be in TV shows that we love. And so I appreciate Dreamer and what she stands for. Plus, she's a badass. And so I really like what she brings to the show, and I look forward to seeing her here in this coming season. So.
And that's what I wanted to say too about the Dreamer character is, like, honestly, I had no idea of anything about her as an actress, as a person. I just knew that was a really badass female character. That's what I looked at it as. Not it as in like the person that really came across bad. Let me clear that up. The situation, like, she was amazing. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this person is awesome. And I was learning more because I hadn't watched Supergirl, I think, the year or two before that. Right. And then I saw that season, I think, when they introduced Dreamer, or maybe the season right after that, actually. And I saw this character, and there were so many other characters, and that includes awesome. And the way they do it, they don't try to like force anything. They don't try to say like, look over here, look over here, look over here. They just treat each person with the respect that they should be given. Yeah. And I think that's great. And those Twitters, boom. We can follow us on Twitter at, I don't know what this was, but Twitter at the Potting Hard Place, and M Guggenheim, which is our wonderful sponsor, Mark Guggenheim, who, gave us all these awesome Arrow goodies, and maybe I was like, maybe he'll give us more, but no. We're gonna have him on again at some point in the future, right? No, not immediately, not today, not tomorrow, but again, hopefully one day when Legends comes back, we can just. Wouldn't it be cool to talk to Mark for an episode about Legends, just Legends?
That would be awesome. I remember that the last time that we spoke, I had thanked him for Bebo, for Super.
Yes. Thank Bebo.
That was the most amazing part. So I got a chance to thank Mark Guggenheim for Bebo.
And me, I had not the same experience, but I had a similar thing in that same episode where, I mentioned one of my favorite Legends episodes was one of the very last ones last season that he actually directed. The only episode he's directed was the one where we're stuck on TV. And I loved that episode. It was kind of cheesy. It was kind of dumb, but it was dumb in such a good way.
It was beyond over the top ridiculous.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And it's one of my favorite episodes. And I didn't realize he directed it at first until halfway through. And I was like looking into the episode, like, Mark Guggenheim directed this episode? Yeah. Holy crap. And it to be the only one he directed was amazing. Then you could follow myself at Stephen Colton, and then Christo4586192. That's such a mouthful.
It is, but you guys are going to be like quoting it in your sleep at some point. So you might as well just, hey, find us on Twitter. Go ahead, follow us. And one last time, I know we've been plugging Northwood Pie, but if you haven't watched it, go see it. If you haven't already followed them on Facebook or Twitter, hey, give them some love. And again, we look forward to getting a chance to go ahead and chat with them here soon. So
hopefully, I'm going to shoot for this coming Sunday, and I'm going to send Jay a message when we get off today and see if next week might work for him. I know I've been wanting to get Lee Newton back on next week, but she's been very busy. She just had an album release, so that was really cool.
It's kind of a hot commodity right now.
Right now she is. She just released it, I think it was yesterday, when she released her new album, and so she's all over the place.
We were talking about possibly having Lee do some live music for us.
Yes, and she is set. I mean, I think it's safe to announce the fact that she is going to be coming on to do a giveaway. We don't know what yet, so we can't say what the prizes are, but it's going to be great to have her on, number one, and to have her give something away to some lucky people out there.
I feel like Oprah. Don't you feel a bit like Oprah? Like
I do. Yeah.
You get a shirt. You get a shirt.
I kind of feel more like Oprah's publicist.
Oprah's publicist.
Because I'm like, hey, can you come on here and give something away? And they're like, okay. And then I'm like, yes.
That's slightly less exciting.
It is. Slightly. Or maybe Oprah's like bus driver. I don't
I like Oprah's doorman.
Yeah. And also too, I forgot, northwoodpie.com. You can check out their website for the film as well.
Well, hey, Stephen, this has been fun.
A lot of fun. It's been super exciting and fun. I already said fun. Never mind.
We'll say it again.
It's so fun. We had to say it twice.
No, 5 times. Well, guys, hey, thanks for following us and thanks for chiming in, everybody. We really do appreciate it. If you want to help us out, please go ahead and share this, tag us, or like it, or whatever you guys do to help share with other people.
Share it with your local news station.
Exactly.
Have them play it on their social media pages.
Right, but we only exist because of fans like you. So
yeah,
we appreciate any sharing you guys can do.
And I was thinking of a PBS joke there, but I'm not with it enough tonight. And viewers like you.
Right.
All right. It's Reading Rainbow. I'm just getting lost.
You know.
I kept doing this tonight. I don't know why. It's like
it's gonna be your signature move, Stephen.
I'm like, yeah.
Jasmine.
Maybe next week I'm gonna have the More You Know video ready. Need to have a graphic just go across the screen.
I mean, that would be one way to step up our game.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, that's been fun. Yeah. Can't wait for next week, and we'll talk to you. I'm sure we'll talk throughout the week, but okay, we got to throw this on there real quick. Thanks for watching me type my comments, Corey. Yeah. Well, that's entertaining. I'm on here like, ooh, what are they saying next?
I hope that they kind of enjoy the fact that they can type comments and we can sort of interact with them in real time. I think that's cool.
Then everyone can see it.
Yeah. How often do you get a chance to go and type your comments and then have the people involved in it, discuss it? I think that's pretty sweet.
That's what I love about StreamYard. I mean, this whole boom, love it. See? Boom. So easy.
We've got one. We're going to have to build from there. So.
All right. Well, yeah, that's been a good show this week, and next week we'll have something special as always, but we'll have the big one next week one way or the other. I think I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say it's safe to say we'll have at least Lee Newton or Jay from Northwood Pie. I'm stuttering then. We'll We're gonna have one of those two people on here next week. I think it's safe to say.
That sounds perfect.
We got a plan A and a plan A because they're both great. Yeah. All right. Well, that's been fun, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.